Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are back with Dr. Laura Griffith Garland, and we're talking today, about kindness. In the meantime, let's say hello, and if you don't mind introducing yourself to our listeners before we get started. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Hi, I'm Dr. Laura Griffith Garland. We don't have to go the whole moniker if we don't want. We can go with just Dr. Laura, Dr. Garland.
Perfect.
Because it's a mouthful. I don't know. When I was in my 20s and married, I decided to go with a double name.
Advice to women out there.
Yeah.
All right, good. I'm not married. I've never been, so I still have my real full name. So, but note to self: keep one. All right.
Yeah. When you have to sign stuff, it can be terrible. But anyways, I am a Reiki master, a shamanic Reiki master. So I do shamanic work and regular Reiki work. I also am a life coach, which I take from a spiritual perspective. I do tarot and a lot of other things. So just a lot of stuff that really to help people become the best person that they can possibly be.
And where do you live? And would you mind sharing your website?
Sure. In Charleston, South Carolina. And it's charlestonreikiandtarot.com. And I can work long distance on pretty much everything I do. So you don't have to be here in Charleston or even in the Low Country to work with me.
Perfect. Well, it's exciting to have you here today. I know we have a great topic in store. Bring it on.
Being nice. I tend to do my topics like almost right before we talk because I want it to be really relevant. Mm-hmm. And today I've had a number of phone calls from people who haven't been being nice. And my husband woke up feeling really, he's like, I'm feeling angry this morning. I don't understand.
Now he's a counselor, right?
He is a counselor. So he's very much in tune with what his feelings are and what's going on with that. He is an empath, as I am, not as strong, but he is. And he's like, I'm feeling really angry this morning. And then literally I've had 4 phone calls with people just totally angry. Now, 2 of them were, they called, they weren't even supposed to be calling us. They called the wrong number.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's something in the atmosphere right now that is, and I don't know whether it's the lead up to full moon tomorrow night. I do have to say that during full moon, like if you ask any EMTs or other first responders, they'll tell you that there is something to full moon. People do act a little wacky on full moon. So I don't know whether it's the lead up to that or whether we just have an atmosphere that's ramped up again. But being nice, there are multiple components to it and why we should do it, and we really should. There's civility, obviously. I mean, that's just our society. If we aren't nice, at least some of the time, we things start to dissolve really, really quickly. Mm-hmm. And we've got friends and family and coworkers and strangers to be nice to. There's a study that was done that found that when people are on vacation, they actually, away from their, not a staycation, but they go somewhere else, that they have more likelihood of not being nice.
Wait, really?
Yes, that astounded me. You would think on vacation that you'd be more
everything's
relaxed.
Happy, flowy, feel good.
But that's not it.
Why is that?
And when asked, they're like, well, I don't ever see these people again, so who cares? Oh, and I know, I was just like, oh my goodness. And my husband and I were on vacation 2 weeks ago, and we witnessed people doing that. Others who were on vacation were like, oh my gosh. So we actually really tried to not do that because we had just read the study before we left. And it was just really, really odd. And that lack of civility made everyone around them feel uncomfortable and not wanting to be nice. Mm-hmm. And that's what I call empathetic rebound. So that when you're not nice, it makes the people around you not nice. And then if you're empathetic at all, which actually everybody is, it just depends on the level, you pick up on them not being nice now. So you're even less nice, making them even less nice, making you even less nice. And then suddenly we have an argument, or we have road rage, or we have you yelling at your spouse or a friend or something when it has nothing to do with them. You know, or some people deal with it. They go out and binge in something, whether it's food or alcohol or something that is not conducive to their health. So you have this whole empathetic rebound going on when you just start by not being nice. And it may be that the whole atmosphere is already not so nice, but now you're contributing to that.
Yeah. Wow.
And this is what we call a positive feedback loop. The only problem is in a natural system, positive feedback loops tend not to be so positive. And they tend to have bad results. So the empathetic rebound just makes the whole thing worse for you, for everyone around you.
Yeah.
So we don't want to do that. Wow. Then there's the energetic rebound.
Wow.
And when you're not nice, you're putting that out into the universe.
It's the law of attraction. Treat others the way you want to be treated. What's that saying?
Golden rule or whatever. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Treat others as you want to be treated yourself.
That's it. Thank you. It's simple.
Yes. And you know, so when you put it out into the universe, it doesn't matter how you define the divine and where you are with that and in your mind, it still goes out energetically into the universe. We project it. Our emotions carry energy. They do. They can actually be tested. It is possible to actually test that. There is a couple of places that they can hook people up to a whole series of sensors, and someone looking at the computer and reading what the sensors are can tell you what your emotions are without you actually telling them anything. They're just looking at data on a screen. So they can look at data on a screen and tell what your emotions are. That means you're projecting it out into the universe. So there is an actual scientific component here. You're putting energy literally into the universe. True. And that law of attraction, what you send out is what you get back.
Yeah. Wow.
Because you're attracting it. And we often talk about law of attraction about, you know, well, we want something. We want money. We want happiness. We want a good partner. We want it, whatever it is. It's about what we want. But law of attraction is working whether you're paying attention or not.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So law of attraction is every moment of every day. Oh shoot. I can't remember.
Every moment, every day. Oh, I thought you lost your train of thought. I'm trying to bring you back.
No, I can't remember the name of the gentleman. It was in a movie that was done quite a long time ago called What the Bleep. Excellent movie about law of attraction and the actual physics of what's going on with that. Absolutely excellent movie. It was from the early 2000s. Very early 2000s, but really, really excellent movie. And I don't want to get the gentleman's name wrong. He was an Irish priest. And he talked about, you can put this little smear of good on top of all of this ocean of negative thinking. And the ocean of negative thinking outweighs that little smear of good thoughts, of positive thoughts. So that's part of why being nice is helpful, is because it widens that little smear on the top. Because if we get more of that nice energy going, then we get nice energy back. It doesn't necessarily happen immediately, and people have plenty of free will. plenty of free will to not pay attention to what's going on.
True.
And you don't know what they've already put out into the universe.
True.
That they're getting back. And like with the strange phone calls this morning that I had from people who weren't even supposed to be calling us.
Wow.
In one case, a woman was desperate. She had called a number of times, and I had tried to call her back, but she hadn't answered. And so she left a voicemail, and she was like, "I'm supposed to be at an appointment at a particular time with a particular person," and I'm like, yeah, I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
And so I called her back, and I finally got her. And she was desperate because she didn't know where she was going. She was driving 2 hours to get to somewhere here in Charleston. And she was very angry.
Yeah.
And because we hadn't called her back. And so I actually went online and looked up where it was she was going. And when I got off the phone with her, I texted her the phone number for where she actually needed to go. And about 2 minutes after that, she called me back, was so apologetic and so thankful, and said I had just shifted her day.
Oh.
So that's the kind of thing that's something small.
Something little. It goes a long way.
Yeah. I mean, she was very upset on the phone, and I could just feel it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it wasn't directed at me.
Yeah.
And by just giving her the correct phone number, it changed her day. One of the things I like to tell people that can really shift things just by being nice. People go out and get coffee all the time in the morning. It's something that a huge percentage of the working populace does. You go and get coffee in the morning somewhere.
Yeah.
And the barista may or may not be having a great day.
True. You don't know.
You don't know. But if you just step up in line and smile.
Yeah.
Just
hi, how are you?
Smile.
The energy radiates. It does. Yeah.
Just smile at them. Maybe not give the really long, complicated order that you maybe normally do. Yeah. Maybe cut it down and just, make it more simple that day, especially if you've seen the person not having a great day, or the person ahead of you was rude. Having seen that multiple times. Yeah. Just step up and smile. Changing that barista's whole energy for the next 20 people behind you.
Yeah.
And those 20 people then go out to wherever they're going to work. And all of the people around them then have a better day. Yeah. And suddenly
the trickle down effect.
Yeah, it's a ripple and a trickle down. It's one smile in the morning to one person can change hundreds of people's day. The reverse is true too. Yep. You go in there and you be not nice. We've all been in line somewhere, and we've all seen somebody be a butthole.
Totally.
And everybody in line is them, and the poor person, whoever they're working with, it just has not a great day, and everybody's energy just goes down. So be nice.
I had this experience at a Verizon store. I wasn't Verizon. I apologize. It was my cable box store where I live on Long Island, and the line was long, impatient people, everyone complaining. And then a guy started yelling at the poor woman who was at the desk. And it's not her fault that the cable wasn't working in the box, screaming that the uncomfortable energy of, it's like that feeling of being in the elevator, nobody talks. I actually stood up and I said, excuse me. I said, you have no right talking to that woman like that. I said, she didn't do this to you. Don't. And he started yelling at me. And I said,
Mhm.
sir, you were really rude. I said, and then the managers came over. I said, I'm just trying to stick up for this poor girl. I said, who you're attacking. It's not, she's here trying to help you. It's not her fault. And then everyone behind me started chiming in on him. And it was like, I felt so bad because she felt so like, I'm just working here. And that happens a lot of times, customer service people, right? I mean, I
Right.
feel for them. I feel for them what they have to deal with. Even people, about East at Starbucks and people complaining my coffee's not right. And it's just like, I just believe in kindness, and it's such a simple concept. And the fact that you wanted to talk about that today is just, it may sound simple and it is simple, but I wish more people could get it. So maybe there needs to be more awareness. Hence, you're here talking about it today. Really?
Yeah. It really, and since the pandemic, it has felt like our level of civility has gone down.
Mm-hmm.
It has.
Yeah.
I have literally almost been run over in parking lots with people yelling out the window words that I can't say on the podcast, simply because I was.
I think you can, but I know I try not to curse, but some people do.
Yeah, well, I've been called a female dog while walking across the parking lot in the crosswalk area, and the person wasn't even turned into the thing and was driving like a bat out of hell.
Mhm.
And then cursing at me just because I was walking across in a crosswalk. And that then made me very upset. And then, and then I had to drive somewhere, and I'm like fighting, like being angry, and you don't want to escalate into road rage and things like that, because they've seen that a lot since the pandemic. I've seen quite a number of people signaling their displeasure out the window with their fingers. And it's just, I'm just like, we're all trying to get to the
Yeah.
same place at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Be nice. Do I sometimes not manage to be nice? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we all have been.
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. And then I catch myself. And that's really the key.
It's the awareness to have that mental ability to make, not everyone does. Yeah.
Yes, to catch yourself and be like,
Mhm.
why am I not being nice right now? Even though somebody isn't nice to you, you don't have to be not nice back. You can be firm. Firm is not the same as not nice. You can be firm. You can stick up for yourself. You can advocate for yourself. You can do all of that without being not nice. And this is also super timely with about to go into Thanksgiving, because family knows how to really not be nice.
Mhm.
They know how to push your buttons and make you be the bad guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's always, if you have a decent sized family gathering, there's always the person in the family who's the instigator.
Mm-hmm.
There always is. There's someone who's the instigator who just picks little things, just little words, little things. And then finally, after, 4 hours of being picked at, you say something back. And then the person gets to be, oh God, how could you be so mean to me?
Yeah. Meanwhile, yeah.
And the whole rest of the family hasn't heard the pick, or they discounted it, didn't pay attention to it. And suddenly you're the bad guy because you blew up. So you have to be very aware of who the instigator is.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the instigator likes to make siblings go at each other or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real common one. And so if you're an adult with siblings and you have an instigator who likes to get you to go at your siblings, talk to your siblings beforehand.
Okay.
Get a keyword. Get a keyword so that if one of you realizes that's what's going on, you can say the keyword. It can be something stupid like unicorns.
Yep.
because that would be completely out of context and make everybody stop for a second. And that's something that would really, really let you realize what's going on. So you can do that. If it's spouses that go at each other, if it's, just the uncle who tries to get you to go at anybody, you can just yourself, when you catch yourself, just have yourself a keyword that you say out loud. Again, unicorns. It's such a non sequitur that everybody stops for a second. It breaks. It's the break. It gives you that break for yourself, for people around you, to break that energy for a second. Because then somebody's going to be like, why did you say unicorns? And you can come up with whatever you want to say or go on to something else.
Yeah.
You can be like, well, it just popped into my head and I have to go to the bathroom. Sorry, bye.
Wow.
So, in my family, we have used peanut butter and jelly as just a phrase. In my husband's family, we used unicorns once. So,
yep.
So, it's when it's enclosed family, because you're kind of all locked in the house for hours.
Yeah.
Especially if we end up with, bad weather somewhere, you can really end up with the whole family locked in the house. Hours and hours, and
brutal though, for real.
It can get really, really
it
brutal.
Really could be. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so there's also being nice by just leaving, going to the bathroom. Oh, I got something in my eye, excuse me. Walking outside, if you're not going to go get drenched or something, freeze to death, if you're depending on what the weather's going on. But it's okay to walk away.
Yeah.
It's perfectly okay to walk away.
Beautifully said.
And again, you can advocate for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can always say, hey, I don't like it when you pick at me. And I know you know my buttons, so I know what you're doing. I would prefer that you wouldn't. Some people will listen, some people won't. And you got to know that. But be nice going into the holidays, having that in the forefront of your mind, that I'm going to be nice when I can really turn the whole family dynamic around. It can really change the setting for a family. Or we've got holiday parties probably coming up for some businesses. The same sort of thing. There's always the person at the company holiday party who once they have too much to drink or something, then they start not being nice. And if you and your coworkers have a plan for what happens when water. I
have a cold, so my voice is so scratchy. I've been trying everything, so I apologize.
I'm sorry. We have allergies down here right now. There's white floaty stuff in the air, and some people are super allergic to it. So we have allergies here, months and months and months. But if you and your coworkers set up something for a holiday party so that you have a wingman when that when somebody is not being nice, it can really change the dynamic. And it's a little about planning beforehand, thinking about it, considering it, and then being in the now. And that's paying attention, all of that we're kind of supposed to be doing by staying right here and being present. When you start to be unnice, you can feel yourself doing that before the words even come out, before anything is even said. You can feel it. And then by being present with yourself, you can back it down. And again, if you start into something and you get into it with your family and you're in the middle of it and you realize you haven't been being nice, it's okay to stop and just back away. It's perfectly fine to just stop and back away. You actually don't lose face, especially with yourself. You'll feel so much better about yourself if you just stop and back away. You don't have to suddenly become a Pollyanna and be super nice to someone who's just been being not nice to you. But you can back away. You can do that. And then you're being nice to yourself.
Beautiful.
And that's another way to be nice, is to make sure you're being nice to yourself, because we are often our worst critic, absolute worst critic. We get into a fight with our family, forgetting that there's been buttons pushed, that it's a decades old topic or something like this. And we beat ourselves up when we don't have to. We should be nice to ourselves too. That's super important, because that's still energy to the universe. If we're not being nice to ourselves, we're still putting out bad energy to the universe. So,
well, thank you for giving us this positive pep talk in a sense. And hopefully it sinks into some people that nothing wrong with being kind or kinder, and to continue being that way. It's pretty simple, but
it is.
Mm-hmm.
But hard at the same time, when the whole, like I said, the atmosphere, at least where I am right now, is tense. I can feel a tension in the atmosphere. And so anybody who's empathetic can pick up on that, and it can make them feel like they need to not be nice. Mm-hmm. So again, awareness.
Yep.
Awareness. And again, if you start into something, you don't have to finish it.
True.
You don't have to.
All right. Well, see, I love you're happy, you're being kind, and your energy is emanating through me. I apologize for my cough, but
no.
Thank you. Thank you for enlightening everyone. Now, if someone does want to reach out for you, would you mind sharing your best form of contact?
Sure. They can email me at drlaura.coach, that's drlaura.coach@gmail.com, or phone 843-259-8349.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here and for your time and for the upbeat conversation. And we'll be in touch, I guess, next week, right? Before Thanksgiving?
Yes, we will.
Perfect.
Yes.
Being grateful and more.
Being grateful.
All right. Have a great day, sweetheart. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.